Hey guys, I want to quickly go over this online portion of the test. So make sure you follow along. And just a quick reminder: once you get this watched and the written portion of the test watched, then you can take the retake. Let's take it. Let's go ahead and get started here. Hey, just a couple things. So just a quick reminder: you're going to always have to do these continents and oceans questions down here. This is Australia, and then we have Asia, Europe, Africa, and then North and South America. So make sure you guys are continuing to study those. Okay, North, South, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. North and South America. It's the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and Indian Ocean. Let's keep going. All right, so from here, you had to put the questions, kind of drag and drop them in the boxes. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution, this was the Bill of Rights. And we talked about the Bill of Rights being the first 10 amendments. Now, I only had you guys learn the first 5, but first 10 amendments. Legislative, executive, and judicial powers of the federal government are separate bodies. This is how they have different powers, separation of powers. The breakup letter, where they declared their independence. They are no longer part of Great Britain. Rather, they are independent. These are the articles that either supported or didn't support the Constitution. These were the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers. Remember, Federalists looked to have a strong federal government. What color was George Washington's white horse? He was white. Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Grant. Who wanted a strong federal government? Federalists. Okay, the Anti-Federalists wanted a weak one. What did the Anti-Federalists also want? This right here. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Hey, government's hands-off policy of business and economics. Hands off. What do we always say? Laissez-faire. And you throw your hands up, and government keeps their hands off. Hey, the judges. Okay. Judicial branch. J, judge, judicial branch. Make the laws. They're the lawmakers. Lawmakers. Legislative branch. L, lawmakers. Okay, and then the enforcers of the law. The executive branch. E, enforce, E, executive. Let's keep going here. How did Thomas Hobbes and John Locke's view of people differ? All right, so let's take a look at some of these. Hobbes believed people were naturally cruel and selfish. Locke believed they were more unreasonable. Seems like a good answer. Let's look at this one. Hobbes believed people were moral and reasonable. No, he thought that they were naturally cruel and selfish. Hobbes and Locke's view of people didn't differ. No, it did. Hobbes thought anyone was capable of making decisions, while Locke believed only men. All right, so the best answer here and the only answer here is A. Hobbes believed people were naturally cruel and selfish, and Locke thought they were moral and reasonable. Why did Locke think that we didn't need a strong national government? Because people were going to make the right decision anyway. Let's keep going. The political ideas of Thomas Jefferson, they were greatly influenced by. Okay, we didn't talk about the Olive Branch Petition. We didn't talk about the Albany Plan of Union. We didn't talk about the Battle of Yorktown. The only thing we even talked about here was the Enlightenment. And that's what it was influenced by, all of those Enlightenment ideas. What was the American Revolution? All right. Time of religious awakening in the original 13 colonies. No, not the Great Awakening. We're looking at the American Revolution here. The American Revolution indeed was a war. The writing of the Declaration is considered a revolution? No. When we were expanding west? No. The only answer here is B, a war for American independence from Great Britain. Let's keep going. The colonists knew that in order for the United States of America to be accepted as an independent country, who would have to recognize their independence? It's the country that we were breaking up with here, which was Great Britain. All right. In order for us to be recognized, we had to be independent from that country we were breaking up from, Great Britain. All right, so these were the trickier ones. You actually had to read here. Two-part question. Let's see what we have first. First of all, the Declaration of Independence clearly reflects the idea of who? Well, it talks a lot about natural rights. What happens if a government takes away your natural rights? You have the ability to overthrow. So which Enlightenment thinker talked about natural rights? Should have been Locke. Okay. Hobbes thought people were naturally cruel. As a result, you need strict rules. Adam Smith believed in laissez-faire government. Abraham Lincoln was not an Enlightenment thinker here for our purpose. Now, part B, you had to choose the section that provides, that deals with a citizen's natural rights. All right, so let's look at the sections that we could pick from. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes that impel them to the separation. It's talking about why you want to break up with someone. Let's keep going. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable or untakeable rights: life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Natural rights, rights you're born with. Because you're born with them, they can't be taken away from you. If it's unalienable rights, untakeable rights, should be the best answer here. Hey, let's look at this next one, though. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it's the right of the people to alter or abolish it. It's overthrowing governments. That one. Okay, should be. Let's keep going. All right, so now this is a huge section. You can pick anything from the Declaration. But let's see what we have. Please select the section that best describes where governments are supposed to get their power. All right, so let's read down through this. The unanimous Declaration of 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands that have connected them with another. It's not where we get our power. And to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. Now, it does say power, but powers of the earth, that means other countries. It's not where governments are supposed to get their power. Powers of the earth are the other countries. Let's keep going. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes that impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Their powers from who? Governments are created among people, and they get their power from the consent of the people. Where are governments supposed to get their power? From the consent of the people that it governs, consent of the governed. Governments should only be changed for major causes. Please select the phrase that best reflects the ideas not be changed for temporary causes. Hey, guys, we talked about light and transient causes. Let's have patience, prudence. That'll say old governments shouldn't be changed for small issues. No, just big causes. Let's keep going here. Style of government we have in America today, one that has elected representatives to represent the people. This is a republic. Hey, remember republics. This is where you get to vote on people who then vote on the rules. Pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands. Let's keep going. All right, social contract theory. This is where you guys got to make a rule for me. And you guys had to hoo-ha-ha. And as a result of that, I had to do something in return. Now, that was kind of a weird way of showing this thing called social contract theory. And it's where you give up certain freedoms to make sure you stay safe and happy. Now, I give you guys this scenario. Do we live in a free country? And a lot of people say yes, but are you allowed to murder? No, you're not. If you lived in a truly free country, you'd be allowed to do that because you'd be free to do whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted. But we give up certain freedoms. Why? To make sure that people stay safe and happy. You're not allowed to steal to make sure people stay safe and happy. Think of any rule. Not allowed to speed to make sure people stay safe and happy. Okay, you give up certain freedoms.